You know, there's been so much talk about driverless cars the last few years, but when I say driverless cars, I usually think about maybe a sedan, a small car, but tonight we're talking about a whole different beast. Driverless semis. Today, tech company WAYMO announced its driverless semi-trucks will be on Atlanta roads, not starting in a few years from now, not next year, but next week. WayMo is a company connected to Google's parent corporation Alphabet, and Joe Henke has a preview of these driverless semis.
Well, Vinny, a lot of us learn how to drive on something small, maybe a car like this. Then perhaps you move up to something bigger, maybe not a TV News Live truck, but something bigger. And new challenges come with that when it comes to braking and churning and blind spots. Driverless technology is now making that same switch, jumping up from cars to semis right here in Atlanta.
WayMo's driverless cars and minivans have covered 5 million miles of public streets and 5 billion miles in simulations across Washington, California, Arizona, Texas, and Michigan. Now the company is coming to Atlanta and ditching minivans for semis.
You only have to drive on, 285, 75, 85, the connector once or twice to realize, how congested it can get and how much traffic there is.
Georgia Tech professor Michael Hunter researches how driverless vehicles might interact with existing roads and traffic.
As long as there's still people driving on the road, then our job is to make sure that the people driving can do it safely. And it's the job of the people building those vehicles to make them operate safely in our world.
WayMo announced its trucks will have a trained driver behind the wheel ready to take control if needed. Similar to the successful 120-mile beer delivery this self-driving semi-truck made in Colorado in 2016. WayMo picked Atlanta because it is one of the biggest transportation hubs in America. The trucks use a series of sensors similar to the ones on the company's minivans. The same tech is being used in driverless cars in Arizona with no one in the driver's seat. So could a world of driverless semis cut down on Atlanta's congestion?
Might you say, hey, I know this thing has to give if I'm sufficiently aggressive, right? So its safety parameters are going to tell me it will break. If I'm in a work zone and I need to merge in, well, I'm going to cut the driverless car off because I know it has to give in.
If too many drivers take advantage, a ripple effect could lead to new congestion. And until the number of cars on our roads is reduced, they will still be just as packed. In a tweet, Governor Nathan Deal today welcomed WayMo to town, writing, "As we look to the future of innovation, self-driving technology is at the forefront of enhancing roadway safety and making the transportation of American goods more efficient."
So, Joe, you got the governor tweeting that these things could improve safety. What do the experts say?
Well, that's the big, most important question here, of course. Distracted driving, drunk driving might not be part of the equation anymore, but Michael Hunter with Georgia Tech tells me they need a lot more real-life experience with these cars before they can answer that question. So right now, it's still up in the air. Vinny?
All right, thanks so much, Joe.